Okay, let's talk about the next world, because that's where I'm going to take you today. Olam Haba. What is the Jewish idea of heaven? That's the question we have to figure out. First of all, do the Jews believe in heaven? Absolutely. Are we going to be able to see this in the Jewish sources? Yes, we are. Hinted at in the biblical sources and seen directly, of course, and discussed in great detail in the Talmudic sources. That is our discussion, top of page 79. Let us begin with some hints in the Torah. We'll see 5 reasons why Olam Haba is not mentioned explicitly in the 5 books of Moses, but it is hinted at. Let's start in Bereshis, and let's talk about the death of Avram Avinu and of Yitzchak, because there is an unusual wording that is used which hints at Olam Haba. And it says, Vayigva, top of the page, please follow inside. Vayigva, Vayamat Avram Avinu expired, and he died, Beseva Tova, at a good age. Zakein, he was old. Visaveya, and he was content. He lived a full life, a full, good life, and he died at a good old age. V'yasaf alamav, and he was gathered to his people. V'yikbaru oto, and he was buried by Yitzchak, his son Yitzchak. V'yishmael, and his son Yishmael. So we see, as mentioned already, that Yishmael came back to his Abba, came back to his people, unlike Esav that disconnected, but Yishmael came back. And Yishmael and Yitzchak buried their father, their Abba, Avraham Avinu. Banav, his sons. Where was Avraham Avinu buried? Marat HaMachpelah. Okay? In the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Sdei Ephron. Ephron was a friend, a great friend of Avraham Avinu, and one of his advisors, Ben Sochar, Hachiti, the Hittite, Asher al Pnei Mamre, and the borders of Mamre. So Avraham Avinu gets buried. Let us have a look at that verse together. We'll see something rather interesting about it. It says that Avraham Avinu, V'yigva, he expired, V'yamat, and he died. V'yasaf alamav, he's gathered to his people, V'yigbru, and he is buried. He is buried. What is extra in that verse? What is extra in that verse? I want an entire expression, not just the vav. Yeah. Expired just means he got much older. He's reaching like the last throes of life into death.
But you don't need that. You're going to say that you died.
Okay.
You want a word or an expression?
There are a few words that seem to be out of order over there. No. Seva Tova, he reached a long life. Zakein, he's old. V'saveya, he's content. He had a life that was content and full. He died as someone who'd fulfilled his mission in this world. Yeah, he gathered to his people. What's that? What people are we talking about? Look at the verse again. Don't look at me. He's dead. He's about to be buried. That's all I need to know. You're dead. You get buried. Suddenly comes on the verse and says he's gathered to his people. What people are we talking about? Who are these people that the verse in Genesis chapter 25 verse 8 to 9 is talking about? Look at the next verses from chapter 35 verses 20 to 29. Yitzchak, his son, lived to 180 years. Same thing. V'yigva Yitzchak v'yamat v'yasef alamav. He's gathered to his people. Zakam Sver Yamim v'yikbru oto Esav v'Yaakov banav. And he's buried by his sons as well. What is going on? What do we gather to? He's dead. He's buried. Why in between death and burial he's being gathered to his people? V'yasef, he's gathered elamav. Who are these people? Yes. Not the Chevra Kadisha. He's being buried by his sons. They're already mentioned. These are the family members who die before a person dies, and he's gathered to these family members in Shemaim in heaven. That's what they say. You may have heard such stories of people that near-death experience, NDEs, but a person dies, and you get to see your family. You get to see your Saba, if they've passed on, and your Savta, and your great aunt used to pinch your cheek very, very hard. There was a big red mark over there. And all the people who died before you from Mishpacha, that's what the Toldat Yitzchak tells us. Yasaf alamav, hu al hanefesh. This gathering is not the physical body. We already dealt with the physical body. The physical body is dead and about to be buried. But what happens to the soul? What happens to the nefesh of the person? This is told to Yitzchak. This is the nefesh that is ne'esaf, gathered together, im nafashot krovav hatzedikim, to the other great souls that passed before it. So before a person dies, they get to see the dead family who've passed on before them. That is the extra expression of the Asaf Elamav. Fascinating, right? Shekasha nefesh beguf. Look at these words. Follow inside my holy sisters. Because when the nefesh is inside the body, he nifredet, it is separated, mishar ha-nefashot shehem bli guf. When your soul is put inside your body at birth, it is separate from all the other souls which are in Shemaim, in the heavens. Right? It's alone, cold, separate, disconnected, nifredet, disconnected. Kashenifred, however, he says, when your soul is separated, min haguf, from your body, when a person passes away, they dies, nitchabra, it eventually attaches itself im shar hanefashot, to the other souls, shehem nifradot min haguf, which are separated from the body, kamo, like it. The expression v'yasef alamav is proof for us, the Jewish people, or is biblical proof that the soul leaves the body and goes and attaches to other souls in heaven. The soul lives on. It does not die with the body. Now, part of the soul remains attached to the body. How much? We don't know, even in the kever, even in the grave, which is why we go visit the kavarim, right? The burial places of great people, or even family members. Somehow, a little bit of soul. One body, said the Rambam, cannot be in two places at the same time. Although if you met my wife, you'd believe it. God bless her. She's able to have that up here. I'm like, how'd you get over here so quickly? However, a soul can be, and actually that's one of the reasons that one of the names of a tombstone is a nefesh. One of the names of a tombstone is nefesh, because there's a little bit of the nefesh that is still attached to the body afterwards. However, the vast majority, I don't know what percentage, goes to Shemayim and reconnects with the other souls that we were separated from when we came into this world. Yes?
So how does that work with reincarnation?
How does that work with reincarnation? It doesn't have to work with reincarnation, because we've said you don't have to believe in reincarnation. But if you're one of the people that does believe in reincarnation, then that soul comes back down again and is put into a different body.
So what are you coming back as?
Or actually, we said maybe an animal as well.
No, but like is it?
Oh, in Tchet HaMeitim?
Yeah.
Great question. When we get to Tchet HaMeitim, God, we'll discuss it. Some say the last incarnation, or the main one you've fulfilled most of your mission with.
So not as a
Two
person?
answers. Yeah, as a person,
No, but what
your
if you're
body.
an animal?
You come back as the original body. You just maybe put into an animal for a short amount of time.
So then, like, the part of your soul that with the old body still there.
This is above my pay grade. If I knew the answers to this, I'd be a great Kabbalist wearing a white turban, charging off a lot of money for this school for teaching here.
Oh, wait, can I,
Yes.
so how is it related to Mashiach?
We're not there yet. Now we're talking about Olam Haba. Olam Haba, next world, comes in three parts. Where the soul goes when a person dies, part number one.
Not like now.
Yes, right through history. Part number two, Yomot Mashiach. Part number three, Tchet HaMeitim. We're going to be covering all those three areas for the remaining part of this course.
But if Olam Haba, like this Olam, like if you go to like heaven,
Right, which we're going to call it. It's really Gan Eden we're talking about right now.
Okay.
Talking about Gan Eden is what we're talking about now, or Olam Ha-nefashot. Right, we did this already, yeah? That's what we're discussing now. This is part 1 of Olam Haba.
Oh, but wait, so if I go there,
Everyone's going to go there.
Like-
Yeah.
no, if you're a bad
You can't
person,
avoid it.
If you're a bad person.
If you're a bad person, we'll talk about Gehenna a little bit later. We have a little piece on Gehenna as well to what that is. Gehenna is not a long-term option. It is a short term of 11 or 12 months, depending on the person. A cleansing period.
Okay, so if you say I'm like Avram, and,
Yeah.
and like I go wherever Avram
Yes,
goes,
Bezrat Hashem.
why would I want to come back?
You don't want to come back.
Mashiach.
You don't.
I
Oh,
don't
no,
want
no, no, no,
Mashiach
no, no.
to come.
Very, very good. Mashiach, you won't be here for that. If a person dies when Mashiach comes, they won't be here for that. But if Tcheta Meitim, they get to see Mashiach and they're going to come back.
Why? Like you don't want to come back.
So the
So
world,
why?
very, very good. The world at that point will be in such a state that you need to. At that point, you want to.
You sure?
1,000%. Let's have a look at the words of Shlom HaMelech in Kohelet. V'yashav ha'afala aretz. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 7. Look inside. Bottom of page 79. And the dust returns to earth as it was. Kesheya v'haruach. But the spirit, remember ruach is one of the names for the soul. Tashuv el Elokim asher natana. Returns to God who gave it. So we see that once we start moving to the rest of scriptures, and a lot more in the Gemara and the Kabbalah, the rest of it, it's talking and spoken about endlessly. Hello.
Hi, we have a busy student. I'm sorry we're late.
That's okay.
What's the topic of this class?
This topic is all about the next world. We're talking about heaven.
Shira. Okay. See, my name is Shira.
Hello, Shira. Welcome. Come and take a seat. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. No one bites over here, except this section over here. I don't know what they're up to. Yeah, take a seat. Relax. Take a seat. Welcome. Where are you coming in from?
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. You're at high school though. You're a high school student?
Yeah. See.
Very nice. Welcome. We're discussing heaven. We came just the right time. We're planning on going there today as a class. Okay? So that is Shlomo HaMelech. Shlomo HaMelech says to us that the body does go into the dirt and returns to the dirt. Oh, Minneapolis in the house, right? Is that like a family? Very nice. However, the soul returns to God who gave it. Let's have a look at what I consider to be probably the most extraordinary story in all of Tanakh. But I would, because I'm teaching this course. And we're going to discuss a story from the book of Samuel. Shmuel. Samuel chapter 28, 3, 11, 15. Okay, book of Samuel 1. And we're told that Samuel, Shmuel Hanavi died. Shaul was going through a certain challenge and wanted to speak to Shmuel. Oh dear, got a problem. Shmuel's dead. Never mind. But that wasn't good for Shaul HaMelech. Shaul HaMelech wanted to speak to him, ask him a question. So what did he try to do? Raise him from the dead. This, I should mention, is a very, very bad idea. Very bad idea. And is prohibited. Different opinions why it's prohibited. Some say because it's nonsense and you can't do it. That seems to be the opinion of some commentators. Some commentators say, no. It is possible. You could bring back the soul of a person that's already passed. I'm going to exclude Princess Diana and Elvis. However, it is possible in a person, but it's a very uncomfortable experience. However, in the person coming back, however, in this story, Shmuel did come back. And as we're going to see, he gets really upset with Shaul, the king of Israel, for doing it. And heard the story before? Extraordinary story. I just bought a piece of it because it's a long piece. If you want to look at the full version, I'd look inside Tanakh. And the story goes like this. Ushmuel mate, Shmuel died, v'yispadu lo kol Yisrael, the entire Jewish people, they eulogized him. Right? V'yikbru b'Ramah uve'iro, and he was buried in Ramah, which was his hometown. So what does Shaul got to ask him a question, all right? He's having trouble with his kingship. He had this little guy called David, eventually King David, was causing him trouble, and he wanted to talk to Shmuel. Shmuel's dead, we'll bring him back. So he goes and he finds a woman who was known as bringing back dead people. Now, two opinions, Rambam and Ramban. The Rambam says, nonsense. This woman did not have the power to do it. And by the way, this is the Rambam, Maimonides' view on all of the occult and reading things and all the stuff that we read about. He says it's all nonsense. It's people making money and wanting to make cash. Don't go near them. And it's forbidden. It is forbidden. V'tamim tiyem Hashem lakecha. It is forbidden to portend the future, bring back dead people, all that stuff, and try to tell in psychics. According to the according to everyone, the Torah forbids doing that. Different reasons why. Rambam says it's forbidden because it's going to lead you to get involved in avodah zarah. That's why the Torah forbids it. According to the Ramban, the more Kabbalistically minded thinkers, it's forbidden because it works, but it's going to lead you to terrible things as well, moving away from Torah and mitzvahs. Okay, so everyone agrees it's forbidden for different reasons. We have the rationalists and the mystics in this area, both agreeing it's forbidden. Why? Because the Torah says, Tamim tiyem Hashem lakecha. You should be perfect with Hashem, meaning you should have faith, not to talk about the future and do this kind of stuff. However, Shaul HaMelech did it.
What about like the rabbis who do it today? How do they justify it?
What do they do?
You never met like one of those rabbis that like open a book and like tell you things like
Now that may be different. They're not predicting the future. They may be able to. You are allowed to ascertain things about now. For example, the.
no, but things about your life, not about like, oh, Mashiach is coming.
That's allowed. If a person is able to have a deep spiritual, tell you a little bit about yourself, right? That means you have some personality. You have a trend towards this. But if someone comes up to you and says, in 5 years this is going to happen to you, right? Not based upon like common sense, right? But like, you know, your personality and what you're after and the career you're doing, the choices you're making in life, right? They can say to you, you're taking drugs, you're going to die soon. They're not prophets, right? They're normal, okay? But to say, one second, but to say that this, based upon my predictions, this is going to happen to you, that's a problem. That's a problem. Okay? That's a problem. That would be forbidden. Everyone agrees it's forbidden, just the different reasons why it's forbidden. Shani, you ready?
Yeah.
You got me?
Yeah.
Shani.
Yeah, so, what about like, I mean, I don't want to, like...
No, you do want to.
No, like, I do. I mean, someone like, I don't know if he's the best example, like the Lubavitcher rabbi, right? He used to tell you, like some people, if you do that, then you're going to have that.
Right. So what was that based on? He's not being a psychic. He is using Ruach HaKodesh, we assume, a person like that, to say that if you follow this path, but to predict. For example, I had a friend of mine who went to a psychic who was told, when you're 53, you're going to kill someone. Now, you shouldn't have gone to that person, that's forbidden, although we have an interest in that. Again, the reason is because you should have faith in God that today, I focus on today. However, when he reached that age, he ran someone over. And it wasn't even his fault. Okay? It's forbidden to go to these people who portend the future. That is forbidden. Okay? So Shmuel does it. Shmuel goes to him, and he goes to a woman. But Toma Isha, okay, so according to the Rambam, this woman did not have these powers, right? She just was a charlatan. Okay? However, it worked. Which means, according to the Rambam, when she calls up Shmuel, she was as freaked out as anyone else. According to the Rambam. V'tomei isha et mi alelecha, who can I bring up for you? V'yome el Shmuel, halili, bring me up Shmuel from the dead. He's gone. He's buried. V'tomei isha el Shaul, elokim re'iti olim min haaretz. I saw a great man ascending from the earth. She's freaking out now at this point, say Chazal. By the way, how does she know he was a great man? So one opinion is that when she... yeah.
It's like he came up upside down.
Very good. Very good. Usually they would... or maybe the other way around. I can't remember what it is. Usually they come up feet first, and it came up head first, which means it was a very important person, which it was. That's one opinion, that she freaked out. Or they usually come up head first, come up feet first, but it came up in a way that she knew was a very special person. And the other opinion is that she saw Shaul, she saw Shmuel, and that's why she freaked out. He must be a great man because he's actually come back to see me. Because normally they don't come back. They don't want to come back. Once you're there, you're happy over there. Right? And he says, what do you see? I'm seeing a man, an elderly man come back. And he is covered in a cloak. The Yedash, that was enough. The Yedash Shaul Kishmulu. That was good identifying information that it worked. Shaul could not see Shmuel, but this woman could. She was charging a lot of money for this. Can you imagine that? Woof. Right, forget Kabbalah.com. This is where the money is. V'yikor apayim arza v'ishtachu. And Shaul bends down. He realizes he's in the presence of the soul of Shmuel, although Shmuel is dead. Vayomer Shmuel el Shaul. Shmuel turns to Shaul and says, Lama hizgartani lalotati. Why did you disturb me to raise me up? He's upset. He's like, I was in Shemayim, I was in heaven, relaxing, and you went and you caused great turmoil to my soul by bringing me up. Right? Based upon this, by the way, as a side point, Ouija boards, all this kind of stuff, totally forbidden in Judaism. Okay? Different opinions. Either because it's nonsense and it'll lead you astray, or it's real and brings real pain to the soul of the person you are returning. So you can go with either option.
But like, okay, well, how they, like in this world, right? We disturb our relaxation to help others and to connect with others,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So how come it's like
Right.
such a huge deal?
That's a very, very, very nice question. I don't know the answer. Between us, I'm having a nice lie down, and my wife says, help me please with the cleaning, right? Oh, God. Right, and then to go and do it. This is a whole different level. They're not meant to come back. They've gone, it's meant to be a one-way ticket. Right? For some reason, whatever it is, it disturbs them coming back to this world. And therefore, it is forbidden.
So we don't believe in ghosts.
We don't believe in ghosts. We don't believe in ghosts. I didn't say that.
So let's talk about
I
it.
didn't say that. The Gemara tells story of Rabbi Akiva, who saw a certain individual who was covered in black darkness, carrying ashes and coal, and he was stuck between this world and the next world, and Rabbi Akiva had to go and, oh God, do something for him, pay back, I can't remember this Gemara, I'm embarrassed. Do something for him, pay back money, or apologize, do something in order, or pay back a debt in order to help, or have his son say Kaddish. Oh, thank God. Right, his sons came up not religious, and he made his son say Kaddish, and he helped his neshama go up. So he was stuck between this world and the next world.
So Rabbi
Some
Akiva
say being stuck in
saw-
New Jersey has similar consequences, but that's what it was, yes.
Does Rabbi Akiva saw ghosts?
Rabbi Akiva saw, is it a ghost? Is it someone with a white sheet on with like holes in the eyes? I don't know about that. But he saw a neshama, he had the ability of neshama that's stuck between this world and that world. The Gemara talks a lot about it. The Gemara also says, the recent commentators say nowadays they don't have it. Nowadays, such people don't. The Gemara says you're not allowed to go to abandoned buildings. There could be shindala, certain spiritual beings over there, or that exist and stay in those places. Shadim,
Oh.
certain negative spiritual force that exists.
Why?
Nowadays, you don't want to mess with these.
Why?
But nowadays we don't have them anymore. Nowadays we don't have them
You
anymore.
sure?
Am I
like,
sure?
Yeah, like people are sure.
I can't be sure. You are?
We for sure have them.
Have what? You're not so funny. Well, of course we have ghosts. What are you talking about? I saw one this morning. Yeah, well, how are you so sure about this, Libby? Tell me.
I don't know, like why
You saw it in a movie?
Yeah, she started.
What did you? Shh, hold on.
Of course, like, it's so far-fetched to think that, like, there are neshama that are stuck here. No. That are, like, not in a group.
That a soul leaves a body and gets stuck in between this world and the next world.
Yeah.
Again, the Gemara talks about it. According to it, doesn't really happen nowadays, as do Dibbooks not happen. According to the rabbis nowadays, you see it doesn't really happen anymore. Can I see for sure that someone gets stuck? Whatever it is, it's not a good thing. You don't want to get stuck in between.
I just don't understand how rabbis make conclusions about things like that are so.
They're very learned and they know the generation, they know what's going on. They have certain insights. Rabbis have insights. I can't be sure. I can't prove anything to you. This is all soul stuff. I can't prove any of this to you, Libby and Jordan. But is it possible?
But, like, so Shadim aren't, like, ghosts, like, neshama from people.
No, they're actually like different spiritual beings. I don't think so, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think so. But can you have certain souls or a person trapped between this world and the next world? And the answer is, I hope not. It's not very pleasant.
What about
I believe.
an
Wait, what about people who get, like, burnt? You know when, like, people get their bodies burnt when they die? Or,
Cremated, totally forbidden.
Right. But then they're, like,
I've been involved in 2 cases where families want to cremate other family members, and we have to get involved and try to prevent that happening.
because, right,
Shh, guys, sorry. I know the ghost talk is very interesting. I just want to figure out what Libby's talking about. It's okay.
we learned that, like, when a person's body isn't buried, right, their neshama
It gives
can't go
great
all the
pain
way
to the
up.
neshama. But that's why we bury a person as soon as possible after death. This is related. You're making a good point. Let me make a good point. There is a mitzvah to bury a body as soon as possible. Have someone with the body the entire time, because that neshama stays with the body to some degree until the burial. Which is why, so it's a very important. That's why it's a mitzvah to actually, you're patur. You are not obligated in any positive mitzvot from when a close family member dies to when you bury them. That's called aninut. Aninut. You can't put a tefillin, right? You don't have to make brachot. You don't daven, right? Because you are, two reasons. One is because you're not calm until the body is buried. The other is you have to be involved in the burying of the person. So you hear people of stories of people flying to Eretz Yisrael on planes, religious people, and they're eating like food, no brachot, no washing their hands. And the answer is they don't have to wash their hands. They're not allowed to actually, or make brachot, right? Because they're going to bury a person who's with them on the plane.
What about Shabbat?
Close family. When Shabbat comes, there's no public mourning on Shabbat, and therefore all the laws of Shabbat apply. You cannot do any public mourning, but as soon as Shabbat finishes, the person kicks off their shoes and they're back into mourning again.
But what if like the person, I don't know, there was a fire, something was out of their hand, they were cremated or not?
That's Sadiq. That's like in the Shoah, for example, Rahman Aslan. These are Kedoshim. Hashem takes care of that. We're talking personally. We're talking about a person who chooses to do such a thing. No, the holy people who were burnt, right, after death against their will. No, these are holy souls. Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if a person doesn't get buried, God forbid, then they're stuck here. And
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. I don't think I say this like it has some effect. I don't know what it is. You want to bury it. It brings great menucha to the soul. It brings great. Thank you. Brings peace to the soul of the person when they're buried. When they're buried.
What do we think about the afterlife experience when you die and then you come back?
Come back as what?
To live. Like you die and then like, you know, like people talk
Or near-death experience, NDEs. Okay, so that's what we hear information on that. The light and the family members. It's very consistent to what.
But do we believe in that?
It's very possible, yeah. The Gemara talks about it. The Gemara talks of cases of people who had near-death experiences and they saw the next world. What did you see? He said, I saw an Olam Hafuch. The people who are big in this world are small over there. People who are small in this world are big over there. He says the next world and this world are two opposite worlds. Olam Hafuch, upside down world. That's what the Gemara says, yeah.
What about when people that pass away come in dreams?
Oh yeah.
Sfardim are like, yeah. Ashman's like, what are you talking about? That's different to a person's soul. That's because a dream is a 60th of prophecy, and it could be that the communication may come through a chalom. That is true. The word chalom, dream, is related to the word chalon, which is a window. So windows may be open when a person dreams.
So,
Come on, you're a Sephardi woman. You've had about 50 of these so far, haven't you? You had one last night, didn't you?
so the neshama doesn't come
That is
down?
not. No. That's not the come back. That comes through a dream. That's very different. This
What if
is.
someone's talking to the person, like people have dreams that they were talking to a person and this and that.
Absolutely.
So
Sure, it's not usually like this, sure, just so you know.
I like it.
Okay. Come join us. Okay. So we see that a person is offered eternal life. Look inside your books, page 80. So the idea of the Shemuel piece I just brought down to show you that we see evidence of souls being in their life. Just don't try to bring them back. Says the Torah in Vayikra, Leviticus 18:5, Yud Chet Hey, Ushmartem et chukotai, you shall keep my chukim, ved mishpatai, my judgments, asher yaseh otam adam, v'chai behem, ani Hashem, and chai behem, you shall live by them, ani I am Hashem. Says the Sifra, look at the page, what is v'chai behem? Le'olam Haba, that is Olam Haba. If you do the mitzvot, what is our ticket to Olam Haba? How do we get the most out of Olam Haba? That is through mitzvot. Vim Toma B'olam Hazeh. If you say no, Chai Behem means you live in this world. V'alo Sofa Metu. Come in this world because eventually you die. Ha Mani Mekayim V'chai Behem, says the Sifra. What am I going to get? V'chai Behem. It must be Le'olam Haba. That's what we're talking about. It must be that the verse, the pasuk over there is saying, keep my laws, keep my mitzvot. Where do we receive reward for mitzvot? Ultimately, in Olam Haba. which is where the Gemara says very famously, Schar mitzvah b'hai alma leika. There is no reward for mitzvot in this world. And even if there was, you don't want it, you're getting cents on the dollar. Ultimately, all this comes the next world. So meaning, our time, our sojourn in this time is for there. So we saw a little bit of Torah, we saw some Navi, we saw a Midrash. Let's have a look at some Gemara and more Midrashim that discuss the idea of Olam Haba.
But don't we say
That's,
that the short time?
What?
Don't we say that the short time means like don't do something.
We learn that, right, you have to, right, you should not give up your, you have to live, you shouldn't give up your life. It's also true. Also true. Lama Nivra Olam B'Beit. Why was the world created with a bet? Is the very famous question of the Midrash. Why did Hashem create the world with this letter? What kind of question is that? What letter could he have created the world with? Aleph. And actually the Gemara says the Aleph got a little upset about this and said, hey, I'm the first letter, don't create the world with another letter. Hashem, however, said to the Aleph, don't worry, I'll give you the what?
Olam Haba.
No. I'll give you the Seres HaDibrot that start with Anochi Hashem Elokecha. However, the bet comes. Why the bet? Because the bet, of course, is the number 2. And from this, the Midrash learns that when Hashem created the world, He created 2 worlds. He created Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba. Okay? Both were created at the beginning of creation. Right? They are both creations. Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba. Both created. That's the bet. Lama nivra olam b'beit lo dicha she'en shnei olamim ha'olam hazeh v'ha'olam haba. Says the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot, bottom of page 80. Please look inside. Rabbi Yaakov Omer ha'olam hazeh, this world, dome prasdor, is like a corridor b'fnei ha'olam haba. Before you get to the next world, it's a prasdor, very famous Mishnah. Het kenetz b'chava prasdor. Prepare yourself in the lobby, in the corridor. Kadeshi Takanis the Traklin, so you can enter into the palace. The corridor in this analogy is this world. The palace in this analogy is the next world. This world is a corridor. It is preparation to take us to the next world. Right? We're here to prepare ourselves for Olam Haba. Page 81 at the top says the Rambam. V'mashal muvan. This mashal of the Mishnah is understood. You prepare yourself in this world so that you take yourself into the next world. Notice that when we talk about the next world, Olam Haba, we don't talk about it as another location per se that you go that's waiting for you. Olam Haba is you. What you create here is what you take into the next world. There's no location, face front please. There's no location that you go visit that's waiting for you. The Rambam says, what you make yourself into this world is what you take for yourself into the next world. That's the Rambam. Okay? And one is a pathway, passageway into the other. Right? That's why it says, person is Torah Erev Shabbat. If you work Erev Shabbat, prepare for Erev Shabbat, you get to eat on Shabbat. Of course, if you work Erev Shabbat, you get to eat. You can't cook on Shabbat. Meaning if you pay yourself in this world, you get to eat of your good actions in the next world. That is also a Mishnah in Peah that we read in the morning. Elu Devarim, these are the things, She'en Shiur, they have no Shiur, they have no set measure. HaPeah, even calling it Phil. Bikurim, the amount of fruit you bring as an offering. Varion, some say that means making pilgrimage to Yerushalayim. Ugumel Chasadim, doing acts of kindness. But Talmud Torah, do these many as you want. Right? You put tefillin on once, you eat matzah once, but these mitzvah, you do as much as you want. You want to give a big payer, big corner of your field to the poor people, okay, gesund. You want to give visit, do a lot of Gimel Chasadim, you get rewarded for each occasion you do it. You don't do, I did it last week, I'm Yotze. No, every time you do it. Talmud Torah, as much as possible. Now there are certain things you get to eat of in this world, but the fruit remain with you to the next world. What are they? So now we're being a list of certain things that are going to help us get to the next world. That you get to enjoy in this world as well. Kibbud av v'em, honoring father and mother. Gimel chasadim, acts of kindness. V'avat shalom b'nei chaveru, bring peace between people. The Talmud Torah, learning Torah, Kaned Kulam, is greater than all of them. For some reason we have to find out. This is a list, says the Mishnah, of certain things that a person does in this world and gets benefits in this world, not reward, but benefits. There is a difference. Benefits in this world, however, the real reward for these items, these actions, are left until the next world, just like you eat of the roots in this world, but the fruit will remain for you into the next world. Yes?
What's the difference between the first set, Peyah Bikurim and Chesed and Torah, and the second set, Shalom Chesed?
What do you mean it was different? A difference in them actually? No, it's they're seemingly two different lists.
So like, what's the difference?
The connection, the connecting factor, how they both make it is one has a fixed measure, one doesn't have a fixed measure, right?
Which one's?
So the first ones are they have no set measure to them.
So
They're
they don't.
seemingly it's a different list.
So like, they don't get as big an reward.
100% you do. It's just telling you that this is the stuff that there is there's no set measure for, okay? And it happens to overlap with the last part because a couple of them you get rewarded in this world and the next world. So the Mishnah's trying tying together a few of them together. Yes.
Is that a section in the Mishnah?
What?
The Peyah?
Yeah.
What's the
Peyah means corner, and is a reference to when a person has a field, they are obligated to leave. You remember Peyah Shikha Lechet? Remember that from school? You learn the yeshiva? Okay, you learn it right now. There's something called Peyah. Peyah means the corner. That's why Peyahs comes from the same word. They're the corner of your beard. There is a mitzvah to leave a corner of your field to poor people. Remember Rus, right, came to visit Boaz's field. What was she taking? She wasn't stealing. She was taking bits that were. So you have Peyah is the corner. Shikha is what you leave behind in the field. You can't go back and get it. It goes to the poor people. And Leket, right, when you're collecting and bits fall down, you can't pick them up. You have to leave it to the poor people. The corner of a field has a minimum amount of one stalk, right? Or 150, 200 stalks. There's no shiur. You leave as much as you want. Okay? Marvelous. Marvelous. Okay, let's have a look. We mentioned this before. We'll look at the Ramchal, then the Ram. We're going to go with the Ramban on this, by the way. The Ramban we're going to go with, but the Ramchal seems to say the same thing. When we talk about Olam Haba, we're talking about one of three things. We've done this already, I think, right? This was number one. Number one is Gan Eden, also known as Olam Neshamot, where the soul goes to when a person dies. Olam Haba, also, that expression, refers to Yemot Mashiach. Right, when Mashiach comes, which we spent a lot of time discussing in this course, if you've been present. The third, and actually, this is really what we're talking about. When you talk about Olam Haba, you talk about number three, and that is Tchiat HaMeitim. Resurrection of the dead after the souls and bodies are once again reunited in this world. So when we talk about the next world, you're actually talking about the future world. That's really what we're talking about. And interestingly, of these three things that we collectively know as Olam Haba, two of them happen in this world. Mashiach's happening over here, and Tchiat HaMeitim. So it can't be the next world as in some other world. It means the world to come, the world that is going to come. Okay, the future world. Good? So look inside the Ramchal, right? Gumol ha'olam haba, hushkafi ma'asav. The reward of the world to come is in accordance with what deeds in this world. Right? Your next world is not some other place you just go to. Whatever you make up in this world goes to the next world. Okay? And what is the real good of it? What is it? What are we looking forward to? Right? We know how other religions, lahavdil, elef havdalot, describe the next world and what's waiting for them over there. For us, the next world is attachment to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a spiritual pleasure which is indescribable. It says the Gemara, take all the physical pleasure of this world, all of them, every physical and spiritual, emotional, psychological pleasure you have in this world, doesn't even touch one moment of Olam Haba. Right? And he says, how do we describe that? Dveikot ba yizbarach, attaching ourselves, clinging to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yahane ba l'nesam l'sechem, for eternity. The Gamu yecholok l'shich halakim, and he says there's two parts to that. Ba'olam neshamot, or ba'olam hatchiyah. World of souls and world of resurrection. So he's divided it that way. The Ramban, Nachmanides, describes the progression in this way. The reward of the souls as an individual, okay, and their existence in the world of souls is called Gan Eden by rabbis. Okay, so Gan Eden Olam Neshamot. That's number one, and that's where individual soul goes, is judged, and is rewarded or not according to their deeds. Okay? After this, Yemot Mashiach. Okay? That's after World of Souls. After all the souls have come out of the holding station in Shemayim. What is the name of the holding station where all the souls are kept? The guf. The body. Okay? That is the holding station of all the neshamot in Shemayim. It's called the guf. When the last one comes out, boop, we're done. History over. In a good way. Okay? That's the guf. And he says, so after that comes Yomot HaMashiach, V'hum klal olam hazeh. That's in this world, you see. It's in the klal olam hazeh, says the Ramban. Look, read inside. V'sofi Yom HaDin. After that, there becomes a big judgment. So everyone's judged individually. They're judged every year, Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Then a person is judged after they die. Right? And after that, we have Tchiat HaMeitim. And at that point, there is a final judgment of everyone that's ever lived in the entire world, right? Jew and non-Jew, schar hakol aguf nefesh, and that is the period of reward that includes the body and the soul. Okay. V'hu ha'olam haba, says the Ramban. This is Nachmanides, and this is the world to come. Shabo yeshub haguf k'mo nefesh, and the body and soul reconnect. By the way, we're not going to spend too much time on Tchiat HaMeitim because very little is written on it. Very little. Okay, the prophets mention a little bit, we don't know. The prophet says that ayin l'ra, the eye has not seen it. A prophet could not see it. We can't even fathom it. Yom Mashiach, we spent lots written on, tons of prophecies, but when it comes to Tchiat HaMeitim, a few prophecies from a few great prophets, and that's all we get. So not too much of this course will be on that particular topic. Okay. However, v'nefesh, at that point, the nefesh tidbak b'dat elyon, at that point the soul will cling to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to God, okay, just as it adhered to him in Gan Eden. However, it will be a much greater level, he says. All right, be greater in that connection, v'yeh kiyum hakol ladei ad lenetzach netzachim, for eternity. For eternity. Yes, with pleasure. A person is born against their will, says the Mishnah Perek Avot. We live in this world ad mea ve'esrim. At that point, a person passes away, and they go to Olam and Hashemat, also known as Gan Eden. When all the souls have come out of there, we move into Yom HaMashiach, which also happens in Olam Hazeh. Okay, that's what he says, Meklal Olam Hazeh. After which, eventually, at the end of days, at some point after Mashiach comes, we'll see different opinions. Some say right afterwards, some say many years afterwards. Some say righteous people straight away Mashiach comes, and other people much, much later. Different opinions. We move into Tchiat HaMeitim. Tchiat HaMeitim begins with a judgment, as we'll see, for body and soul, as they'll be reunited and reconnected in this world. He says the feeling, greatness of Olam Haba, of Shemai, of the future world, the great feeling is that you feel connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The pleasure the person feels there is a pure spiritual feeling, although you will be reconnected with your body again at Tchiat HaMeitim. Emes Hashem. Right? Says the Ramchal, Ki az, at that point, Yaseh HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God is going to make a judgment, prati, a personal one. Al kol davar or davar shnaseh b'chol zman mizman lebrit olam. There's going to be a judgment that's going to cover 6,000 years. Right? B'chol ashes alfei shenei, all of them. V'az yavo elef hashvi. After the 6,000, it's going to begin the 7,000. That's Shabbat. Right, we're going to have 1,000 years of Shabbat. Remember that? Because we go from this world to the next. So we'll go from. So right now, we're right at the end. We're on Erev Shabbat, which is why everything's speeding up for us. Just like a home is flying Erev Shabbat, so too, you're flying on Erev Shabbat as well, in this world, before Mashiach comes. Okay? Get the 7,000, Lahasir Tzura. Then after that, says the Ramchal, we go to the 8,000th. Okay? And he says that's a complete new world. So he's just jumped another 1,000 years into the future. And there's going to be a complete recreation of the world. The eighth, and remember, the number 8 always represents Lamala Min HaTeva. So we go from 6,000 to 7,000. In the 7,000 we have Tchet HaMeitim. Okay, some say right through, some say during. And then we move to the 8,000, which is a whole world. And he says, a whole new creation. She'i efshar ledat menu klal. The Ramchal says we have no clue what's going to be like then. We can't even fathom that. We can't fathom Tchet HaMeitim. Now we've gone post Tchet HaMeitim into the 8,000th millennia. He's like, that is, I know we're going to be at that point. I mean, he says we have no idea what that's going to be like. Okay, that's what he says. Says Rav in the Gemara. Let's go to some Gemaras on the idea of Olam Haba as well. Margele b'pumad Rav. It used to be a very favorite comment of Rav. Right? You see this a lot, by the way. You see great rabbis make certain statements, which means they used to say these statements again and again and again. Right? And he's going to give us a description of Olam Haba, which really is going to be what isn't Olam Hazeh. That's what I mean. La Olam Hazeh Olam Haba. This world is not like the next world. Olam Haba. Ein ba lo chila. There's no eating. V'lo shtia, no drinking. V'lo priravia, and no intimacy and having children. V'lo masa mata, no business. V'lo kina, there's going to be no more jealousy. V'lo sina, and no more hatred. V'lo tachrat, no more competition. Ella, tzadikim, righteous people, yoshvin, sit, v'atrotehem, v'roshehem, the crowns are on their heads. V'ne'anim miziv hashchina, they enjoy the presence of God. The ziv, the radiance of God's glory. Okay? The next world, there's no more jealousy, there's no more business, there's no more orgo. Now you're looking forward, right? Now you're like, oh, now I'm interested, right?
Today, you know.
It is today. I know some people walking around freaking out today. Yes. There is no more of that. All gone. No more bills. No more trying to date in Manhattan. You're free! Free! Right? You get to just enjoy the world. Then a very interesting description is given. And it's given in the form of a diagram. So notice, most of it is what it isn't. See, even the great Rav isn't telling us what it is. He's just telling us what it ain't. You know? But then the Gemara in Tanit, so interesting. And it makes a diagram to describe Olam Haba. And it says the following. It says, in the next world in Olam Haba, again, these are all metaphors, obviously. I don't believe this is literal. Ama Ula Bira. Ula Bira said the name of Rav Elazar. Until the future, Gorosh Baruch Hu Lasod Machul. The Tzadikim, Hashem is going to make a circle for the righteous people. A circle for the righteous people. It's a good circle. A circle for the righteous people. And the Tzadikim are going to sit among them in the Gan Eden. So we have a circle, and all the righteous people are going to sit in the circle, wherever they are, right? Just like at a wedding, we're all dancing in circles, right? We have all these different people sitting in a circle. Okay, interesting. I know a square, this is a circle. And what's going to happen, says the Gemara, and in Gan Eden, each one, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God, Hashem, will sit in the middle of this circle. That's the metaphor. Right? And what's going to happen? Each one of them will point at Hashem. V'kol echad ve'echad mare be'etzbo is going to point at them with his finger, and the Gemara is going to quote Isaiah the prophet, chapter 25. Va'amar b'yomahu hinei Elokeinu zeh. This is my God. Now the word zeh is a code word that occurs a number of times. What does the word zeh mean when it occurs in the Torah? What's happening? Somebody is pointing at something. Somebody is pointing at something. That means they're having a intimate, close, and definitive relationship with that thing, right? Hashem, Moshe Rabbeinu pointed at the moon, right? They pointed at the animals. Whenever there's pointing at something, pointed at the coin, the matbeya. When you point at something, you can see it, right? When they did the Yam Suf, right? Zekli v'alvei, they saw Hashem. They were able to point and say, "That's my God." whatever that means. So he says they're going to point, they're going to have an intimate relationship with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. At that point, they're going to say, according to Isaiah the prophet, this is my God, we have waited, Zashem kivinu lo, nagia lav nispav yeshuato. We're going to be glad and rejoicing in salvation. Okay? That's Olam Haba. We sit in a circle and we point to Hashem. What does that mean? Not too sure. But I'll go with the idea of a circle. And notice about a circle something interesting as opposed to any other shape. Right? Could have been a hectagon, could have been a triangle, right? Could have been a square or a cube. What's about a circle? Equal, never ending, right? If you look at it that way, never ending. But it's also equidistant, right? Everyone is equidistant, very powerful. No one's going to have anyone, right? We're all close, right? You're going to have over here the Sephardim, and here you're going to have the Hasidim, and the Ashkenazim, right? And more Hasidim, and lots more Sephardim, right? And we're all going to be equal. No group is going to say, oh, I get closer, I did it this way, I did it that way. When we go to Olam Haba, we're all the same. We're all the same. Everyone is equidistant Baruch Hu at that point.
Why do you to be good?
You got to get in the circle.
No, but
you got to make it to the circle.
No, but you can be like good at.
You got to get invited to the Shabbaton. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, but I'm saying like different levels. You say like different levels.
Okay.
You get
Some
like, more
true.
reward. So
Some will be closer than others
How? It's a circle.
through our actions. Right here. I don't.
Like they contradict themselves all the time. No, seriously.
Different opinions doesn't mean contradiction.
But we saw the Gemara on that, like, it's like, like, so what do you believe in? Do you believe that the better you are, the more reward you get, or you believe that everybody's going to be equal?
It could be everyone's equal to Hashem, but people may get more out of it.
But what does that mean? If you sit in a circle and point at God, then, like, how can you get more reward?
I don't know.
No, I'm not kidding.
No, I hear it's a
I'm
serious
serious.
question. I'm not taking it as a joke. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell.
I was like, what if I want to be with my family? Like when my,
The rest
like,
of them, really,
No,
at that
so-
point, I've had enough of my
Like,
family. I
what
think.
does that even mean? Like, which one? If you believe in reincarnation, if like you believe like, I have many families.
You've been in before, Shani.
What?
It's not your first time here. Shani, you have a question?
No, you guys are freaking me out right now.
Sorry. I apologize to freak you out. But it's my job. Let's have a look at the Ramchal and Derech Hashem. He talks about this. He says, Va'amnam, however, these are good questions, really. I don't know the answers. But said that Hashem Aguf, when the soul leaves the body, right? Kata Elolam HaNeshamata goes to the next world. Hine Sham Mitbashetet Umizdaheret Bizahira. They can radiate freely with brightness. Okay? It's a wonderful experience. Okay, let's notice, by the way, you hear this about these near-death experiences. They talk about, they see the light and stuff. Happens to be that it speaks about it quite a lot. The idea of a light, right? You get to see its brightness. According to your actions in this world, the light will be dependent. And that's going to be your existence in that world. Okay? Fitting from what you associated with you in your body. Okay? And it's through both this, you can achieve the world of souls until it gets back together with the body in so you get to basically saying even Olam and Shemot Gan Eden until you get reconnected to your body. It is a wonderful experience. The soul feels unlimited. It feels free. When you're in this world, right, you're stuck in a body. You don't like it. The Mishnah Pirkei Avot tells us you don't want to be here. Okay? Al kochach atanuntzar. Against your will you are born. You are formed. Against your will you are born. Right? You don't want to be here. Against your will you live. Against your will you die. I never has to give a cheshbon l'fnei Hashem. However, when the soul leaves this body, it feels a great release. The Gemara talks about it in detail and compares a good death to a piece of hair being pulled out of a glass of milk. Right? A tzaddik who wasn't too attached. We'll see Rav Dester about this in a second. A person's not too attached to their body. That means the light of this world, the soul leaves the body much easier. right, was called, I don't know what this is called, the Nishikat Met, the kiss of death. It's actually a very good thing when the soul leaves the body very, very easily and gets to experience Olam HaNitzchiyut. Okay, it's seen as a very, very good thing. The soul leaves the body very, very easily, as opposed to a person who is fixed in this world. It's like pulling thorns out of wool, says the Gemara. It's a more intractable experience. Now you're freaking out, Shana Shriki, right? Now, that's it. You put me over the edge. I'm a Sephardi woman, I can't handle this stuff.
Wait, who says this?
This is the Ramchal, but I mentioned the Gemara, which I didn't mention, and the Pirkei Avot, which I didn't bring down, but that's what the Mishnah says in Pirkei Avot. Again, see, the soul doesn't, your body doesn't want to be, you don't want to be in this world. Look at it. I mean, while we're here, we want to stay. Right? But actually, it's much better in Shemayim. Yes?
So why do we resuscitate? Like, why is the halakha?
Because, very, very good. Because, very good question. Because life is precious to us. Every moment of life, we don't want to come here in the first place, but we need to come in order to achieve greatness, and life is precious every second of life, which is why you can even break Shabbat in order to save a life. Koch nefesh.
But if someone already died and their soul's already going up, and then you're bringing it back, isn't that like not? You're not
Bringing them back is one thing, which you don't have to do. But once they're put on life support or food, then you can't just take them off.
Okay.
But you may.
So many people are like, I died and I come back, or like they didn't have a heartbeat, they didn't have a pulse for 2 minutes, and then they were resuscitated. Isn't that like bringing a soul back?
Supposedly that's a good thing. You get to experience life more in this world. Yeah.
How is that a good thing?
Hey, you're like, Gan Eden is fantastic, right? It's like, you're saying a good question. If it's so good there, right, when we're on over there, well then why don't we all kill ourselves right now in order to get there? And there are many religions who say the best thing, and we say because life is precious. Every moment, we don't want to come in the fact, but now we're here, we have to achieve. Hashem puts us, the reason we're here is good. Hashem put us here for a reason, right? The soul, it's a challenge, right? You don't choose a challenge. Right? It's not enjoyable. We'd rather be close to Hashem, where the body is not containing our neshamot. However, when we're in this world, we want to, and that's why you want to stay here. Naturally, you don't want to die. The natural state of a person is they don't want to die. They want to live. Because deep down we know that being here is a chance to achieve greatness and to get to Olam Habah. Yeah.
All these people who wrote everything about Olam Haba and dying.
But I'm talking about as I've been, I got no idea what I'm talking about, by the way. I'm just very clear. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just telling you what the sources say. Right? I'm not in a rush to die. I don't know what it's like, and I'm probably in big trouble. So I don't want to discuss that.
They're all alive, so where do they get all of these things from? They didn't die yet and come back, so where are they getting all these experiences of the afterlife?
Experiences on knowledge. Knowledge comes from Torah. The Torah is full of knowledge.
But the Torah only hints to stuff, like very vaguely. So I don't know how they make sense.
Well, we have a lot written.
The
We have these are things that are handed down, part of our Torah, part of our education. Part of Torah reveals these things to us. Hashem has revealed this information to us. And where do we get any form of information that we don't have direct experience of? From the Torah. So the Torah is telling us. Do we really know what it's about? No, we don't. Discussing Mashiach hasn't happened yet. How do we have 7-8 classes on Mashiach? We could have done 50. And the answer is because the Torah, the prophets speak about it.
No,
They
don't
would
tell
need
us.
that.
They don't tell us.
They don't.
No, the commentary thing they tell us, but that's like their commentary.
No, the prophet, that's the understanding, but the prophet's
but the prophet
telling
doesn't-
us.
but the
How you
prophet doesn't-
interpret the prophecy is something else. But that's what the prophet's telling us.
The prophet's only about Mashiach, but not about the afterlife.
Well, what's the difference? Neither have happened to us. Huh? It says Rav Dessler, and we'll finish the class with this. This is in English. Oh, well, it's translated to English. In a book called Strive for Truth, he says, upon entering the state known as Olam Haba, the tzaddik, righteous person, as we saw above, begins to enjoy the splendor of Shekhinah. That's the Gemara we saw, right? God raises, so to speak, a corner of the curtain, and the tzaddik experiences a little of God's greatness, of his overwhelming manifested love for his creatures. He gets an inkling of the majestic universal plan. These are all words to how to describe a spiritual thing. It's never going to suffice. Right? Words cannot do justice to this thing, just like the word love cannot suffice in describing the feeling of love. That's what we're trying to do over here. We're trying to contain an infinite idea into finite words. Having said that, we get to feel the majestic universal plan which God had for all his creatures, right? And derives unimaginable joy from the realization. His struggles with Yetzer Hara in his previous state, that's Olam Hazeh, has significantly contributed to the fulfillment of that plan. Right? Your soul, just like you feel like when you achieve something, you feel good. It's that times, I don't know, 1,000, 1,000,000. Another thing, The very fact that he's granted such revelations, the very fact that he's privileged to experience so much pleasure must mean, he realizes, that his past efforts were appreciated. All the struggles, everything went through in this world, nothing is coincidental. Everything that happened, every frustration, every irritation, every mitzvah, everything you did, good, bad, it's all taken into account and creates your own personal Olam Haba. Okay? To know that God, whom we serve, is pleased with him, adds immeasurably to his satisfaction. That is our view of Olam Haba. Not some place that's waiting for you with a palace and all this kind of stuff in 72, car mechanics, whatever it is. This is not for us the idea. The idea is you feel close to Hashem and your soul achieves great bliss at that time. Okay, marvelous. We shall continue next class. Have a great and successful day. We did a lot.